Hi everyone, it's the English Simmer here and welcome back to my channel and another build video. I know, what is going on in the world? English Simmer is doing 2 builds this week. I have to say, I caught the tiny living bug and it's just making me want to build. So I decided in this video I would take on the challenge that was given to lilsimsie by Simgurufrost. So Kayla streams like every day over on Twitch. I don't know how she does it. She is a wizard. I also stream over on Twitch, twitch.tv/EnglishSimmer, and Simgurufrost likes to pop in every so often. He likes to wind us all up a little bit, and he likes to set fun little challenges for the Sims community. And this one has taken off. So lilsimsie has done it, James has done it, and also Plumbella has done it. And this challenge is to basically build a tiny house or a micro home, which is maximum 32 tiles. You're only allowed to use 12,000 simoleons. It has to be made for 3 Sims, 2 parents, and a child. You can't use bb.move objects or show hidden objects. So those are the 4 limits of this lot. So it has to fit, basically, if you have tiny living, it has to fit in the micro home, which is the lowest possible number of tiles that you can get in this stuff pack. So I decided to take this on. I was like, you know what? If these regular builders can do it, because we all know James and lilsimsie and Plumbella, all very talented in the building variety here on YouTube and on Twitch. But I am not so confident in my builds. Tiny living really has dragged me out of my comfort zone and has made me want to explore building. So I really wanted to get on board with this, and I decided to go for kind of a cottagey vibe with this one, a little bit more run down than my last tiny house. My last tiny house looked like it would fit perfectly in suburbia. This one's a little bit more crazy. I actually got inspired by Miss Honey's cottage from Matilda. I love Miss Honey. I mean, what gay girl doesn't love Miss Honey? I swear she was like the gay awakening for so many people when that film came out. So I was inspired by her cottage. And I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, Molly, that bathroom is a little weird. Basically, I had 1 tile left over and I didn't want anything to go to waste. So I added in a 3rd tile to the bathroom. I was like, I can fit a sink in there because we actually don't have a sink in the kitchen. I used James's trick, in which is using a dishwasher in the kitchen so that you save counter space. You don't have to have 2 counters and then a sink on top of one of them. You can just have the dishwasher. So that's the trick that I used. So definitely do keep that in mind if you're building micro homes. If you need like the smallest footprint possible, just try and think of ways to save space. I know a lot of people were saying, why don't you add like a mini fridge instead of a regular fridge? You could have done that, but technically you don't really need a microwave, and the mini fridges unfortunately don't act as a counter. It would have been really cool if Sims would be able to use the top of a mini fridge as a counter, because then it could have added like an extra counter space. I think that would have been really nice. I know I've had a couple of comments like, why weren't mini fridges included in this? And to be honest, they were just released in Discover University. They wanted to make something special in Discover University, and usually there are a couple of items that they keep exclusive to the packs for a while. I honestly thought it was going to be the same as Strangerville and laptops, but then they introduced them in the free patch. So they do like to keep a slight exclusivity, which I mean does make sense because they obviously want people to buy University, although I do think this would have been a good opportunity to add more mini fridges and maybe enable that like top of the mini fridge fridge to be used as a counter space. This is where I really started struggling in this layout. I basically got everything in that I wanted in, but as soon as I started to try adding the dining table, I did want to add 3 seats because obviously this house is made for 3 Sims. So I was like, right, I really want 3 seats. It kind of doesn't make sense to only have 2, considering this is made to be for 3 Sims. So I did go for 3 seats. I managed to fit them in. It's a little bit weird with the bed actually facing the kitchen, but I mean, what else can you do in a micro home? When you are short on space, you may as well just like have your settee facing your oven. You can watch your food cook. It's very enticing. I mean, probably would make you very hungry. Imagine getting in from like work or school. I used to always have a banana and a Mars bar. I don't know why, those were just like my go-to snacks that my mum used to put on a plate as I got home from school. But imagine getting home from school, sitting down on the sofa. This house doesn't have a TV because 1, it was expensive, and I was like, I want my children to read. I also used the excuse that this was like kind of based off Miss Honey and Matilda, and so I just added in a bookshelf for funsies. But to my original point, you get in from school, you kick off your shoes, you sit down in your kitchen living room, you stick on some pizza, and then instead of watching the TV, you just watch your pizza cook. I mean, to be honest, that would be quite entertaining to me. I like watching food cook. They do say that watching your food cook definitely makes it go slower, so probably not the best thing to do. I mean, Sims are already slow when it comes to cooking food. That is like one of the biggest struggles of The Sims. Always has been, think it always will be. If you start school or work at like 6 a.m, good luck to you, because you're gonna have to get up at like 3 a.m. I honestly didn't struggle with the money too much on this build. I thought I was gonna struggle more, but I think like not having a TV in it really helped, because the new TVs are actually super expensive. I think they're about like $2,000, maybe even more. I remember looking at them and then I was like, nope, can't afford this now, so guess we just won't have a TV. So I decided to use the rest of my money kind of on a little bit of landscaping. That's my next challenge. You know, I feel like I've kind of got the tiny builds down. Yes, they do still need some work, but I feel like I really need to work on my landscaping. Landscaping is hard to do. Like I say all the time, I don't really have a brain that works like that. I much prefer interiors and like adding clutter. Landscaping just doesn't seem to be my jam. So I kind of went in, I added some landscaping. I definitely wanted some more hobbies to do to like keep their fun up. So I obviously added the little bookend, which thanks to the update now works as a bookshelf, which is very, very handy. And then I also added in a little painting easel so that the Sims who live here can also paint. As always, this will be up on my gallery, which is capital E, capital S, EnglishSimmer, so you guys can go check out this house. And my other tiny home is now also up on my gallery as well, so you guys can go download both of those. Honestly, I kind of regret adding the bathroom to be like that weird 4 tile. I do kind of like it though. It's kind of quirky, and I feel like I have the excuse that this is a cottage, and I feel because some cottages are like so old, sometimes they really do have like funky layouts, and they have like walls where you wouldn't really expect walls to be, and it actually doesn't look that bad from the outside either. So that's my excuse for this looking the way that it does. But I think it looks super homey. I actually really like the way that this build turned out. Like I said, with the cottage vibe, you can kind of mix and match here or there, but it definitely looks Miss Honey inspired, which I'm very thankful about. I also assumed that we couldn't use the size up and size down cheats. I personally would have sized down that little fox image if it were my choice, but because I didn't know if that counted as like move objects, I didn't do it. building without move objects is really hard. I did just use the Alt key for free movement. I get questions all the time about how to do that free movement placement. You actually don't need move objects on to do that. You just hold down the Alt key and you can freely place items and also like freely rotate items. But yeah, definitely the biggest challenge of this was not using move objects, because I think I use move objects in like all of my builds. Like it just is constantly on in my game and I never really think about it. So for me personally, that was the biggest challenge, but I hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you would like to see any more builds, then definitely let me know. If there's any like specific micro homes, like maybe inspired by like a gardening sim or a sim who loves to paint or something else, please do let me know in the comments. I always find it easier to build if I have specific restrictions, such as this challenge. So thanks lilsimsie and Simgurufrost for inspiring me to build. Or if I have like inspiration for like a sim that I want to base it on or something like that. So please do leave your ideas down below if you're interested in seeing more builds in the Tiny Living Stuff Pack. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Bye guys!